NXT Takeover back to Brooklyn this year, Summerslam weekend. The entire card has been revealed. Does it match up to last year's event? Let's talk about it. What is going on, guys? JD from New York here, and thank you for tuning back into the channel today. And what I got for you guys is something I normally do not do. I don't like being the bearer of bad news. I don't like spoiling shit for anybody. But if you have access to the internet, if you have a smartphone and you're sitting in class or sitting on the job board or sitting at the bus stop waiting to go home from work, and you like the WWE just as much as me and everybody else watching me, and you like to keep up to date on everything, I'm sure at some point today you will have come across this information. And if you do not like spoilers, I'm going to tell you this once and once only. Do not watch the rest of the video. If you do not want to be spoiled of what is to come on NXT television, do not watch the video. Because I will leak and I will reveal all the matches that have been planned and that have been revealed for NXT TakeOver back to Brooklyn. So if you don't like it, click off the video right now, okay? But before I even get into this year's card, I'm going to go over everything that happened last year. And we're going to do a side-by-side comparison of TakeOver Brooklyn Part 1 and this year's Back to Brooklyn for SummerSlam Weekend 2016. Jushin Thunder Liger beat Tyler Breeze. The Vaudevillains won the NXT Tag Team Championships with Blue Pants as they defeated Blake and Murphy, who was with Alexa Bliss. Apollo Crews beat Ty Dillinger. Samoa Joe defeated Baron Corbin by referee stoppage. The unbelievable match that everybody is still talking about to this day when the women are brought up in conversation. Bayley defeated Sasha Banks to win the NXT Women's Championship, the start of her memorable run as the face of that division. Finn Balor, the champion, defeated Kevin Owens in a ladder match for the WWE NXT World Heavyweight Championship. Great card. Absolutely amazing card. And I had the honor and pleasure to sit next to Justin LaBar watching this event. We watched this event together last year. And when I tell you, when Sasha Banks and Bayley were on our televisions and we were watching that match unfold, there was not one word uttered at all during that entire match. We all sat in silence. We all sat in silence. Not one fucking word was spoken. Magic was made that night. And I'm going to tell you this right now. The card that I have for NXT TakeOver back to Brooklyn. We will see Bayley. We will see Bayley in a WWE Women's Championship match for NXT. It is no way going to capture the magic that Sasha and Bayley made that night last year. I don't think any women's match that we will see for the foreseeable future will even come close to that. The only match that I can think of that even came close to that was Bayley and Sasha Banks in the 30-minute Iron Woman match. That was the only match that even came close. Because that match had so much hype and build around it that they tried to do what they did in Brooklyn. Though they came close, they just never could captivate the audience like they did that night. It was so unbelievable. And that was pretty much the match that solidified WWE and their decision to say, you know what, we got to take the women seriously. If this is the type of match that we're going to be getting out of the women that we have down at NXT, we have to do something about this on the main roster. They were the trendsetters. They were the fucking ones that started all of this. That one match pretty much put the nail in the coffin on the Divas and ushered in a new revolution. I have nothing more to say about that match than it's probably the best women's match I have ever seen or will ever see. Okay? But that was NXT TakeOver Brooklyn Part 1. Now, we look at what we have for Back to Brooklyn. And this is going to be, in my honest opinion, an event that WWE topped. TakeOver Brooklyn Part 1 is going to be topped this year in 2016. I firmly believe that. With what I have written here, Listen to this card. Samoa Joe, the WWE NXT World Heavyweight Champion. We all know Nakamura beat Finn Balor on last night's edition of WWE NXT television. July 13th, 2016, Nakamura, Kinshasa to Finn Balor, 1, 2, 3. Automatically names him the #1 contender for Samoa Joe's NXT Championship. I knew this was going to be the match before the Balor match was even announced because it made sense. The only thing I don't like about this is I have a feeling that Nakamura is going to be thrusted into the #1 spot in NXT, and he's going to be the face of that promotion, which gives Samoa Joe a fairly short run as NXT champion, and he deserves so much more than that. This will be Samoa Joe's only title defense, okay? And actually, no, I lied about that. He beat Finn Balor in the steel cage match, but after Balor, he's really had nobody else after Balor. And that's kind of unfair to Samoa Joe, because the way I see Samoa Joe, he is the best heel in the WWE. And if you watched his promo last night, July 13th, on NXT, the guy can cut a fucking damn good promo. He makes you believe that he's the fucking toughest man on the planet. And I made a bold prediction on my NXT review, which I will go over in depth again on my iTunes podcast, because mostly what I talked about last night was the Cruiserweight Classic. I made a bold prediction. A lot of you guys, and I mentioned this before in the past too, that Samoa Joe and Brock Lesnar and WWE potentially building up to a match like that. That would be phenomenal. Samoa Joe, in my words, I said that he would be the only one that could make a Brock Lesnar match in the WWE UFC-like, believable. But that is all good and true, but what I said yesterday as far as my bold prediction goes, if you're looking for someone to put over when Lesnar calls it a day in WWE and you have him remain undefeated through his entire run, which will last all the way up until WrestleMania 34, there's no better choice than Nakamura. He will be on the main roster by the time WrestleMania 34 comes around. They have history together. That would be a dream match on the WWE main roster. Why not? Have it happen at WrestleMania. If Brock Lesnar is going to walk away from the WWE, there's no better one to put over than Nakamura. That would solidify him as a fucking superstar. Superstar in WWE. Because he would have done something that nobody else could have done. The likes of The Undertaker and John Cena and everybody else. Roman Reigns. Nakamura comes to the main roster. Kinshasa to Brock Lesnar at WrestleMania 1, 2, 3. Come on, man. No-brainer. Absolute no-brainer. But Samoa Joe would definitely be my second choice. So Joe versus Nakamura for the NXT Championship. Bayley, like I mentioned, she will be fighting for the NXT Women's Championship for a second year in a row. She will be going against current champion Asuka in the second match of this feud. Bayley back after a storyline back injury that kept her out. In the meantime, while Bayley was out, Nia Jax was challenging Asuka for the title. So it makes sense that this match is happening because these two women are the top two contenders in the women's division. They are two of the biggest faces in the WWE NXT women's division. And will they capture the magic that Sasha Banks and Bayley did last year? No, they will not. I'm not doubting that they're going to put on a fucking fantastic match, but there's no way they will come close to what Bayley and Sasha Banks did last year. Bayley versus Asuka 2 will be happening this year, back to Brooklyn for the NXT Women's Championship. Bobby Roode has officially arrived in NXT. He will be going one-on-one with Andrade Cien Almas. Almas needs some tweaking to his character. He comes out dressed in overalls. He looks like he's fucking going out for a night dancing at some fucking Cuban lounge. Just give him a fucking cigar and he'd be one of those types of characters, you know? He reminds me of somebody back in the day during the Attitude Era with that Savio Vega group. Those fucking, the whole Puerto Rican clan that he had going on there. That's what he reminds me of. He could fit right into those guys. And that was terrible. That was absolutely terrible. Terrible gimmick, you know? So, Andrade Almas versus Bobby Roode. I'm looking forward to see Bobby Roode in WWE because he plays a great heel. And he was one of my favorites on the TNA roster and definitely one of the top 5 I've always wanted from TNA back in the day to make a jump to the WWE. Andrade Almas has been impressive. It's just his character really is bland and boring. He's got no identity to him. What he does inside the ring between the ropes is fucking great. He needs someone like a Bobby Roode to go up against and maybe bring out some of that character. So it's going to be very interesting to see what Bobby Roode does with Almas and see if he can bring out that character that I know Almas has. So that's going to be a marquee match at TakeOver back to Brooklyn. Something that I'm looking very much forward to, and I made mention of this several weeks now, the Revival, one of the best tag teams in the WWE, may very well be the best tag team in the WWE, maybe the best tag team in the entire fucking industry. American Alpha, the Revival, you can't get any better than what NXT is doing with tag team wrestling this year. They will be defending the NXT Tag Team Championships against Tommaso Ciampa and Johnny Gargano, Johnny Wrestling. This match is going to be a fucking show stealer. With the athleticism of both Ciampa and Gargano and the technical wrestling ability and the great heel-like persona of the Revival, it is going to steal the fucking show. I cannot wait to see these two teams go at it, and it's going to be great to see the build leading up to this match. Honestly, the Revival, they staked the claim of being the only two-time champion in NXT. That's out of everybody. Out of every championship that they have, the Revival is the only two men in the WWE NXT promotion that can say that they're a two-time champion in that promotion. I honestly think their win over American Alpha just was a way to solidify them as, you know what, these are the top dogs in NXT. Johnny Gargano and Tommaso Ciampa, I love them by themselves. As a tag team, they are even better. I would love to see Ciampa and Gargano win this match and be crowned the new NXT Tag Team Champions. I think it's going to happen. I honestly think it's going to happen. What a tag team title match we will see at NXT TakeOver Brooklyn. Part 2, back to Brooklyn. No Way Jose and his unbelievably infectious gimmick and his great theme music. No Way Jose, finally in a feud. His first big feud on NXT television. He will be going one-on-one with the greatest man that has ever lived, Austin Aries. I can't wait to see this match. I'm a big fan of both. And this is going to be a coming-out party for Austin Aries. Finally, fully establishes himself as a great heel. Some might say, listen, JD, No Way Jose could use a big win, but, you know, Austin Aries has been in big matches, and he's never gotten a big match win on pay-per-view yet. He's won against Nakamura and delivered one of the best matches you'll see on WWE television this year. Right, he got a big win over Baron Corbin, but who is Baron Corbin now? You know, Baron Corbin, yeah, it was all right. It was a great way to get him introduced to the NXT audience, but it really wasn't a big win. You're going into Brooklyn, NXT TakeOver in front of 13,000, 14,000 people at the Barclays Center. I think Austin Aries needs a win. Austin Aries needs a big win. No Way Jose has years and years and years of grooming to get his future bright. I think No Way Jose needs to take the L here. Austin Aries is going to win. That's going to be a great match. Can't wait to see that. And something that really isn't announced as of right now, but as I read the spoilers and I read the whole overview of the show, American Alpha. American Alpha does not have a match on this card as of right now, but they are involved in several segments for several weeks with the Authors of Pain. Now, I know this match is taking place on NXT television next week, and I would like to see this again at NXT TakeOver Brooklyn, maybe in a quickie, maybe a 10 to 15 minute match. You know, WWE has no problem of having their pay-per-views on the main roster go past 3 hours, 4 hours, whatever the case may be. They can do the same here. They can push this event to 2.5 hours. Normally, the NXT TakeOver events are 2 hours. American Alpha versus the Authors of Pain would be a great addition to this card, and it would be a great send-off for the American Alpha as they make their jump to the WWE main roster, which I'm assuming will be in the draft. I think they will be drafted to SmackDown. I think that's the right choice, and it's a perfect scenario for both guys there. So I love this card. I honestly think, in my opinion, this card, back to Brooklyn, Joe Nakamura, Bailey, Asuka, Almas, Roode, Revival, and Ciampa Gargano, No Way Jose versus Austin Aries, possible American Alpha versus Authors of Pain. We have a TakeOver Brooklyn event that will be better than last year's. I didn't think WWE was going to be able to do that. They surprised me. And as always, NXT is the one thing we are always looking forward to each and every big pay-per-view. That's my video. That is the leaked card for NXT TakeOver back to Brooklyn. Let me know what you guys are thinking about that. Let me know what you think of this card. Do you think this year's TakeOver Brooklyn is going to be better than last year's? Yes? No? And if so, why? Let me know. Sound off in the comments below. And if you enjoyed the video, hit that thumbs up. If you guys missed my review of the Cruiserweight Classic, that is now live as of last night on my channel. I also posted a WWE 2K17 NXT Collector's Edition reveal trailer. Shit that you might have missed in the reveal trailer, which includes several other names besides the big three that were announced today on the Collector's Edition reveal, man. So make sure you guys go check that out. I'm JD. I'll be back with some more shit today. I don't know, man. I'm in a creative mood, so you might get something out of the ordinary. You might get a live stream. Keep it right here on my channel and on Twitter at JD from NY206. Until then, thank you for tuning into the video, guys. Hit that thumbs up, and I'll be right back here with more great WWE news and rumors. I'll talk to you later.